All right, it's another installment of Better Data, Better Results. In today's episode, we're talking about an important pain point for many chemical program managers. Now, this isn't a specific problem like empty tanks or airlocked pumps. Rather, we want to ask one simple question. How do we prioritize problems with our chemical injection program and get them fixed? See, operations managers rely on chemical programs to ensure asset integrity, assure production, enhance quality, and reduce safety risks. If there are problems with the chemical program, then there are problems with the production. But if your chemical program looks like most in the industry, then you've got a lot of problems to address. Our industry baseline data actually shows some of these major problems. For example, 1 in 15 chemical tanks is empty at any given time. Over half of injection downtime lasts more than 24 hours. 3/4 of injection pumps miss targets by more than 20%, and the doozy, 4 out of 5 industrial assets requiring chemical treatment have gone untreated for a period of at least 24 hours in 2020. These are all major problems, but it can be hard to decipher which problem is bigger and which problem needs to be fixed first. What chemical program managers need is a systematic way to assess chemical performance risk and prioritize problems based on severity. To help with this challenge, WellAware On Demand Chemical has introduced chemical performance indexing, a way to track chemical management problems against industry averages and prioritize based on key chemical KPIs. Let's dive in to see how they work. So what we're looking at here, as we've seen before, this is the WellAware On Demand Chemical Performance Dashboard view. And the way that this dashboard is structured is based on these chemical performance indexes that are an important part of WellAware On Demand Chemical. What we've done is we've identified 3 critical KPIs: pump uptime, injection variance, and chemical availability. We've created performance indexes for these 3 things, and then we've also created an aggregate chemical performance index to measure overall performance. Now, why is this important? What these indexes do is take into account the most important aspects of chemical injection performance and measure them compared to industry averages. These are proprietary indexes that make it very easy to see and prioritize chemical problems and respond to the biggest issues. So let's look at an example. In this dashboard, the first place I go to is the worst performing site on the overall performance. Let's click into the Trubisky site to see what's going on. So as I look at this dashboard, I see that I've got a lot of red and a lot of problems. That's why this overall performance index is so low. I can actually briefly look at my recommendations down here and see 3 things that are a big problem. First of all, the tank is empty. So that's a problem, and that's probably causing the observed usage being lower than the expected usage quite significantly. And lastly, I see that my pump power system is failing. So this is a trifecta of issues that is causing severe underperformance. And the only thing that is doing well is actually the WellAware device is online and reporting, which is great because it means that we're getting the data that we need to drive these performance indexes. And the reason that happens is because every WellAware device is equipped with an onboard battery backup to make sure that even when we do have catastrophic power failure, we still get the data we need. So if we actually jump into the chart view for this site, we can get a little more context on where this data comes from. So this is a chart view showing product volume in black, observed usage rate in purple, the injection rate set point in orange, and the pump voltage in red. So if I isolate some of this data, I can see where these problems occurred. So a few days ago, my injection rate set point was 8 gallons per day, and my observed usage was keeping up with that. At a certain point, it looks like a couple of days ago on October 6th, at around 8:25 in the morning, I increased the injection rate set point to 22 gallons per day, and this caused problems. Likely, the increased injection rate caused a power failure. My solar system was not able to handle the capacity of the increased injection rate, And we see that problem in the pump voltage measurement as we start to drop below 10 volts and even down to 8 or 9 volts. We also see that during that time, the observed usage rate drops significantly because the pump is underpowered and not delivering chemical the way that it should be. Now we go to our current scenario, and not only do we have performance issues, we now have an empty tank, and we have an injection pump that's trying to draw against an empty tank and trying to draw against a vacuum, which is further causing the power system to fail. So when we actually dig into the data, we see what is driving this performance issue is this site has a lot of problems. They all need to be addressed to get this chemical injection system back online. And that's why we use the WellAware performance dashboards. They make it very easy to simply, quickly identify where the problems are and get them addressed.